Hunter Biden's a subject we're not really supposed to talk about. Do you guys remember this? There was this laptop or something that was like left in a repair shop, and then this laptop turns out had a whole bunch of crazy emails that were not allowed to be discussed anywhere because those crazy emails should have broken as a story right before the 2020 election. And those emails included emails that were allegedly about then candidate Joe Biden running for president of the United States. But the media was just like, no. We're not going to talk about that. We're definitely not going to talk about these emails. We don't want to talk about anything involving Joe Biden and his family, and certainly not Hunter Biden. That would be crazy to discuss that right before the election. Let's find something else to talk about. Trump. Trump. That's what we got to talk about. Do you remember that story? How it kind of just got hushed and went away, and no one seems to care that his son Hunter worked for this Ukrainian company called Burisma, and there's allegations that Burisma employment was just a sham to funnel money to Joe Biden. Remember that? I remember that. I remember that. Well, there's been some new updates in the Hunter Biden emails, the ongoing saga. Let's talk about it. I'm Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, small law firm in central Minnesota. I'm a lawyer. I'm also a legal and political commentator on YouTube and on Odyssey. Wherever you're watching, go ahead, hit like, hit subscribe, turn on your notifications. Make sure you don't miss any other videos. All right, here we go. This is from Daily Mail. Turns out Hunter Biden paid Joe's AT&T bill and spent thousands on house repairs for him while he was vice president, new laptop emails claim. Which is great. Like the AT&T bill is actually kind of funny to me, right? Like, no, Dad, you need a cell phone. No, you can't just carry a corded phone with you. No, Dad. Like, can you imagine the discussions that Hunter had to have with Joe Biden to get him to figure out, well, but I can't, there's no keys on. No, Dad, you just touched the screen. Oh my God, please get an assistant. So he's got to pay Joe's AT&T bill. But then he's also allegedly spending money on repairs. And this opens up questions that should have been asked during the election. Was Joe Biden benefiting from Hunter Biden's job with Burisma? Now, Joe Biden's salary as vice president's decent, $230,000 a year. Pretty good pay. Good benefits, all of that stuff, but it's not the main fix. I mean, there are other jobs that pay considerably more, like Hunter's job, for example, which while he was working with Burisma was making over $83,000 a month, which I don't know if you can do math, but that eclipses Joe Biden's annual salary as vice president every 3 months. So 4 times a year, he gets paid what Biden would get paid, what Joe Biden would get paid as vice president. So there's a substantial income there. And that income seems to maybe have been going towards some of Joe's bills, even though Joe explicitly denied that he ever benefited from Hunter's employment at Burisma. These are questions that should be asked. So this is from Daily Mail, and I'll link it. We're not going to go through the whole article. Just hit these bullet points. The article's interesting. It's got the emails attached. You can check them out yourself. It says 2010 emails between Hunter and his business partner, Eric Sherwin, detailed payments for JRB, likely Joseph Robinette Biden. They include $190 a month on an AT&T bill and payments for house repairs. Thousands went on new walls, paint, and AC fixes at Biden's Wilmington home. He always said there's no conflict of interest between Hunter's deals and his responsibilities as vice president. I mean, despite trying to leverage his position as vice president over Ukrainian officials, and then, of course, having Hunter being maybe potentially the target of an investigation in Ukraine, and then suddenly Joe calling for that investigator to be fired. I mean, other than that, though, just other than that, the details of the bills make a tangible link of how he financially benefited from Hunter's business dealings. In 2017, 2018, Joe and Jill made more than $11 million and they dodged taxes. But Hunter complained in a text to his daughter in 2019 that half his salary went on to paying his father's bills. And he told her, don't worry, unlike Pop, I won't make you give me half your salary. Now, I think that might be a little bit of a hyperbole thing there that he's saying. But the significant thing is not the bombshell that he was giving half of his salary to Joe Biden. That's likely not true. What we've got here is probably a frustrated Hunter having to pay a bunch of Joe Biden's bills and then exaggerating that it comes out to half of his salary. Or maybe not. We don't know. And you know why we don't know? Because the media just isn't going to investigate it. All that hard-hitting journalism, they're still thirsting over that one page of Trump taxes that they got. That's what they care about. They don't care about the potential corrupt business dealings of the current president of the United States. They're still on the last president. And they'll still be on the last president probably through this entire president's term. Even if he happens to get 2 terms, they'll probably still be on the last president. They have no interest in pursuing these claims against Joe Biden. There's no investigative journalists out there who's like, you know what? All of these emails are there. All they need to do is just go through them and check it out and try and build a thing. Again, if the same thing happened with Trump and his kids, which, by the way, it hasn't, although there are news stories about Trump and his kids speculating on whether Ivanka's going to turn on Trump for an indictment that hasn't been written against her yet. But there's tons of news stories on that, but not a lot on Joseph Robinette Biden and the wily tales of his son Hunter. Those wily tales which involve all sorts of questionable pictures and a whole lot of financial questions. But this is the nature of how this entire thing has gone. The media was so focused on removing Trump from office that they really didn't care what Biden did and actively sought to suppress the story. Heck, Twitter was banning people for just reporting about the laptop, for linking to a website that would have any information on the story, that would have the story itself. Twitter was banning people. 12-hour suspensions, 1-day suspensions, permanent suspensions. It didn't matter. This story was not allowed to break prior to the election. Now it's over, barely anybody's following it anymore. A lot of people are talking about Hunter Biden. A lot of people want to know about this link. But I'm talking major publications. They're not interested in it. That's old news now. Look, he's already president. What are we going to do? I don't know. What'd you do to Trump for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years? How many more years do you want to go into the future? Maybe just do that. Maybe just actually, investigate. That's my thought. What do you guys think about it? Drop a comment down below and let me know. Till next time. Peace.